everybody, is Liberty Whispers, and I am in a tag video mood. Why is it like that? I don't know. I just put up a soft-spoken rap tag, so that's one, and I gotta do this. I mentioned it in like my first video back a couple of weeks ago about the nerd tag, and I know it's kind of done its circulation and what have you, but I'm a huge nerd. I always have been, and I just kind of feel like it would go against my personal grain if I didn't do it. So yeah, strap yourself in, get ready to get your nerd on, and let's go. So it says here first and foremost, oh by the way, I will post the questions in the description box if you yourself have not had a go at this yet, but you want to, which you should definitely do if you haven't yet. Do it. I'll post the questions for you. But it says at the top here, wear your glasses if you've got them. I do have glasses. I've been prescribed glasses years ago. I never wear them. This is probably going to really damage my eyes when I'm older. But I am stubborn and a boy. So, yeah. That's the best two reasons I can come up with for never wearing the glasses I'm supposed to. Anyway, so let's just pretend I put my glasses on. And if you've got glasses, put them on. If you haven't got them on already. And even if you haven't, borrow someone's glasses. Just for the fun of it. Number one, Kirk or Picard. I will say, make it so. Captain Picard. I am not really a fan of William Shatner, and I'm not really a fan of the character Captain Kirk. Picard to me always seemed more of a commander. He seemed more in charge, like he had his stuff together, like he was ready to roll in any situation. Also, I have to show a bit of home team loyalty because he is the ambassador. Well, not Captain Picard is not the ambassador. Patrick Stewart, who plays Luke Picard, or Jean-Luc Picard. Patrick Stewart is the ambassador of the university from which I graduated from. So, Elsa, Picard, and Professor X is the ambassador of my university, which I think is pretty cool. So I have to stick with home team loyalty and the fact that he is more of a badass. Question number two, warrior, thief, or wizard. Wizard every day, right? Because, like, magic's awesome. And, I mean, I know I do magic in real life. No, I don't. It's because I can't do magic in real life that I would go a wizard. I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to just set things on fire with their hands, and their brain, and their magicness? I know I would. That is all I would use my magic for. I would do other things than that. I'm not a pyromaniac, with great responsibility. See, I'm just going to throw in as many nerd references as I can, and if you catch them, let me know what they are in the comments. That's a game for you right there. Look at that, I'm making a game out of a tag video. Question number three, favourite subject in school? Easily English literature. I love creative writing. I have done since I was a kid. I used to have real problems with my handwriting, and one way that my mum got around that problem was she would sit down with me and we would write stories together. Like, I would come up with the stories and she would help me, and I would write them out for her, and that was one of the ways in which I would practice my handwriting. So because of that, I kind of managed to better myself, and it's something that I just kind of really enjoyed right from an early age, and so it just naturally evolved as one of my favourite subjects. Drama and performing arts, and or performing studies, as it was known. It was a close second, but English was always my favourite. I really wish I'd been good at science subjects. See, I had no interest whatsoever in science when I was at school, and I had no interest in art either. But like a couple of years after I finished school and I was in the end of college and going to university, I really kind of took a liking to science for some reason. If only that had kicked in a couple of years earlier. If I went back to school now, I would be awesome instead of being just mildly average in most departments. The next question is, what would your Patronus be? Now, I actually had to look this up because I had no idea what a Patronus was. Apparently it's from Harry Potter, which I know is like a beloved franchise, and I know loads of people will be like, oh my god, you're crazy because you don't like Harry Potter. But I don't really like it. I watched the first 4 films, maybe 4.5. I remember falling asleep during one, not because it was boring, just because I was really tired. And I like the one with Gary Oldman in Azkaban, Prisoner of Azkaban, I think. But other than that, I was just like, no, it's not really for me. I see where the appeal is. I can understand why people like it, so it is very creative and very inventive and imaginative. Just, I don't know, it just never really resonated with me. But anyway, so a Patronus, for those who also may not know, is like basically a spirit animal, to put it in the easiest, most layman way. And my Patronus would be a bear. I love bears. Bears are awesome. Bears are tough, strong figures. They can survive on their own. They're very protective of their pack, their family, and I've just always kind of related to bears. Not because I poop in the woods and eat berries, but because of those other reasons. Question number 5. How can you ask me this? Favorite superhero? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I could be here all day. Favorite superhero? As a kid, it was Spider-Man. I was obsessed with Spidey as a kid. In fact, I was really obsessed with a lot of Marvel properties as a kid. But Spidey was the one for me when I was a kid. I wanted to be, when people were saying, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And people were like, I want to be a vet, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a nurse. I was like, I want to be Spider-Man or a Jedi. If I can't be Spider-Man, I want to be a Jedi. Well, you know, obviously, neither of that happened. Still time, but you know, it's never too late. Maybe one day. But my favourite superhero now is definitely Batman. Since I kind of got reintroduced to comics about 7, maybe 8 years ago, I kind of was introduced to a whole different world of comics, a much darker, much grittier world of comics, and that started with a lot of the Frank Miller stuff with Batman, whether it be Year One or Dark Knight Returns. I was kind of shown a side of comics that I had kind of bypassed when I was younger, and that's really kind of what got me back into it. And you know, who doesn't like Batman? He's like, he doesn't have powers, no, but he has amazing gadgets, and he is just like a dark, skulking crime fighter vigilante slash badass with a code of ethics and personal demons. Yeah, so Batman. Although I do love others, but I won't go into that because otherwise this video would be just incredibly long. Star Trek or Star Wars? I always thought the two were mutually exclusive, you know, for such a long time. I thought if you like Star Wars, you can't like the Trek, but, you know, that's not true. Because, I like both. I like Star Wars a lot better because I was kind of grown up on Star Wars, reasonably young, and it kind of became a part of my childhood mantra, and then my adolescent mantra, and now all the way to my grave mantra. But yeah, I dig Star Trek. I mean, it's cool. But for me, it's always gonna be the Jedi's way. some of my favourite storylines from comics history come from Marvel, but I don't know. I kind of find myself now I'm back into buying books regularly, like bi-weekly or what have you. I tend to find myself buying more DC than I do Marvel. It kind of flips between the two. It depends on who's writing, who's putting out what, and what's going on in that whole universe. But at the minute, DC is ahead. Although there are other staples out there which are definitely worth checking out as well. You know, some good independent stuff like Image. I can't remember any more off the top of my head. It's really bad. Dynamite. All kinds. I mean, check out your indie labels as well, because you know there's some good stuff on there. Question number 8: in what unsports related way do you keep in shape? You know, the usual saving galaxies, destroying Geth. Last week I killed a Rancor with my bare hands. You know, that keeps me pretty trim. Question number 9: what is your dream career choice? A writer. Like I said before, creative writing has always been something that's kind of been enriched and encoded in my personality since I was a kid. So, you know, I love writing. I just love putting myself into writing. Like, just I'm not going to go on anymore about it because I could just go on and on and on. But that would be like a dream profession for me, to do that professionally, to do like fiction writing professionally, I think, in particular. Favorite video game? Oh, come on, man, that's another hard question. Okay, I don't have a favorite, but I can run through a few favorites. Like spanning generations. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Super Mario 3, Final Fantasy 7, Street Fighter 2, Metal Gear Solid 2. I know some people are going to be like, what? No, 1. I'm like, yeah, 1 was awesome, and I would say 1 probably as well, but 2, even though, you know, you don't play the Snake all the way through and it does that whole switcheroo with Ryan, some people have, and I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm going to be like, what? But never mind. 2 is, I think it's awesome. I love 2. Mass Effect 2. All the 2s. Oh, a bunch. Honestly, a bunch. Yeah, so just those, I'll give you those for now. Maybe if you want, we can talk about video games another time. Favorite author? Oh, that's another hard one. I like weird authors. I like William S. Burroughs. I like Hunter S. Thompson, Stephen King, Ian Banks, Chuck, what's his name? I can never pronounce the dude's name, and if Mal watches it, she'll be like screaming, it's Puck, Chuck Pollinacek, I think is his name. I like him. I mean, I wouldn't say he's a favourite. I've only read a couple of things, but from what I've read, I like, and he could become a favourite. I don't even know why I mentioned his name in favourites. He's good, but yeah, I like weird authors who write about weird things, because I'm a weird person, I guess. I don't know. Favourite indie band? It is a photo finish between the Smiths and Def Cab for Cutie. I was introduced to the Smiths when I was like 17, 18, when my music taste had only kind of been growing and building itself for about a year, maybe 2, and the Smiths just kind of blew my mind. I don't know what it is, and I can't explain it. If you're a Smiths fan, you'll just understand when I say I can't explain it. It's just something there that I think you either get or you don't. It's just everything. It's just the tempo of the music. It's the guitar work from Johnny Morris's lyrics. It's just, it's had Morris's face tattooed on his chest. It was really weird and kind of like, that's awesome 1 second, and then that's like, no, that's kind of stupid and kind of crazy. So yeah, if you're a Smiths fan, let yourself be known, brothers and sisters. We must be accounted for. But Def Cab for Cutie is a close. It's a joint. I don't know which one to pick, because I love Def Cab. I love Ben Gilbert's voice. I love his words. I love, again, with Def Cab, it's something similar to the Smiths. It's just kind of inexplicable draw to them, and yeah, I love Def Cab. Def Cab are awesome. Next question. What is the nerdiest thing about yourself? Oh goodness. I don't know. The fact that I have a Quentin Tarantino doll, or my collection of comics, or the fact that I have all my DVDs organised alphabetically. Yes, because it's easy to find that way. Some people just don't understand. Honestly, I don't know. You probably have to ask someone else. That's one of those questions where I can't really answer, because I don't know. I probably do. I know an incredible vast amount of useless trivia, and I also listen to a weekly podcast about paranormal cryptozoology, unknown phenomenons. That's kind of nerdy. I don't know. There's plenty of nerdy things about me, so just pick one of those. Pick one of those and be done with it. PlayStation, Xbox, or Wii. At one point I found all of them. I don't own a PlayStation anymore, and I'm on the verge of getting rid of my Wii because it never gets used. But out of the three, I would go with Xbox. It kind of brought me back into gaming big time, and kind of introduced me to online gaming. I dabbled with PC online gaming with, what is its name? Unreal Tournament. That's the one. I had to stop and think there. But it never really took, simply because I was crap and people were far too fast and far too good, and I don't know. I never really had a good experience, but years later I was brought into the magic of playing online games with friends. I don't particularly like playing with strangers, and I don't play as much on Xbox Live anymore, because a lot of people don't have the same games as me anymore. There will be occasions when particular games come out, I will, but I don't particularly like playing with strangers, because you get, sometimes you get some lovely people, and I've talked to some lovely people on Xbox Live, but you get some real oddities and some nasty people on there as well, who I just don't have the time for. And that was one of the reasons that contributed into me not playing Call of Duty games anymore, is simply just because I couldn't tolerate the horrible people on there, just the absolute douchebags. But anyway, yeah, Xbox, definitely. If you're nice and you want to play some Xbox Live games, I don't know, inbox me your gamer tag or something. Or maybe we can play, maybe we can hang, maybe we can play. Question 16. What is the longest word you know? Good God, I don't know. Discombobulated. That's a pretty big word. I don't even know if that's a real word. I think it is. It sounds real. Yeah, so there you go. I don't know. 17. Greatest nerd accomplishment. Oh, that's a hard one. The only thing I can think of is when I was studying English literature at school, we had to cover, I think it was like 3 books throughout the year. For like coursework and exams, we had to study 3 different books. Everyone studied the same books that took the course. And one of them was a book called Faust, which was a sort of play on / spin-off of the classic German novel. It was Dr. Faustus is what we had to study, which was a spin-off of Faust. which, of course, if you don't know, is the tale of the man who sold his soul to the devil. And out of an entire school studying that, I was the only student to get a grade B or above. So that's a kind of nerdy accomplishment. Everyone else got C or below, but I got a B. So yeah, when it comes to literature about Satan, I know my onions. Not really, I don't know if that kind of, maybe that's a strange accomplishment to have had. I don't know. 18. Biggest nerd role model. Okay, keeping it with Star Wars. I could easily say Luke Skywalker because he saves the galaxy and he's a good guy and all that, but I'm gonna say Lando Calrissian. Granted, I'm not black and I don't live in the sky, but Lando Calrissian spoke volumes to me and still does, because he's a real dude. He's a selfish guy at first, he does things for himself, and granted, the whole betrayal thing, not cool, but he more than amends for that, and he shows that he is a human, like a genuine human, amongst all those races of aliens, and people that kind of have almost predictable curves. Actually, no, I'm going to take that back, I'm going to go Han Solo. Lando Calrissian was a bit of a dick. When I think about it, yeah, I'm going to go Han Solo. Number 19, what fictional character did you fantasize about as a kid? Like, sexually? I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think I did. When I was a kid, Jet from Gladiators was pretty hot, but I can't say I ever fantasized about her. I don't know, I used to want to be Spider-Man, you know, but I didn't particularly fantasize about it. That feels a very uncomfortable and kind of inappropriate question. I'm going to move on from that. But just for the record, I didn't fantasize about Spider-Man, you know, in that way. I just wanted to be him. Question number 20. Jocks, friends or foes? Both. You know, don't judge somebody by a label. You know, I have met some absolute douchebag jocks, but I've also met some absolutely lovely jocks. People who are as sweet as can be, but like totally sports crazy. You know, on the flip side, I've met some really sweet and lovely nerds, but I've also met some real tools that are nerds. You know, it all depends on the person. So yeah, I'm gonna say both friend and foe. You know, do a bit more discovering, you know, find out more about that one person than the pack. You know, infiltrate the group. 21. I'm far too hyper for this time of morning. Plus I have to be up as well, which is not good. 21. Old school big games or modern 3D graphics. Here's the thing, you know, I've heard people say that a game isn't a good game unless it looks good, and that's absolute rubbish, because the thing is, all the games relied on gameplay and storytelling and difficulty. You'll find that a lot of older games are a lot more harder than new games. But of course, you know, the visual appeal, the aesthetic and the graphics of modern games is definitely a draw. You know, it's definitely something that pulls me in and interests me as a gamer, but, you know, again, I'm going to say both. You know, I think both can cohabitat, or cohabit, I don't know, whatever the word is. You know, I like both. I like different old school games, and I like different new games, you know. I don't want to choose, and you can't make me choose, so I'm going to say both. Question number 22, the Nerdiest Pick-up line. Hey baby, come down to my dungeon and I'll show you my dragon. Question number 23, the nerdiest article of clothing you ever owned. Probably a bow tie, or actually no, I went through a phase, and I don't know why, because looking back, I'm kind of thinking I was maybe a little crazy. I went through a phase where I used to love wearing sweater vests, and I'm not even kind of rich or posh. I don't know, and I had like I had a mustard yellow sweater vest. Oh, I think I want to be sick at the thought of it. That's nerdy as hell, and that's just, oh dear, no, I don't think I have them anymore. It is probably a good thing, but yeah, I was kind of obsessed with them. Tank top, sweater vest things. Yuck. Question 24. Do you have a random useless talent? What is it? Yeah, like, I know random useless facts about things, and especially music. I can bore people to death with music facts. Just ridiculous stuff. I'm not gonna do that, because you're good people, and I won't do that to you. Random useless talent is I can talk a lot, as this video proves. Yeah, so there you go. Question 25, do you read the book before seeing the movie? I didn't up until, like, even about a year ago. I started doing that. I started reading the books before seeing the movies. Like, last year, before David Fincher's version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo came out, I love the original, and if you're interested, I actually prefer the original to Fincher's. I like Fincher's version, and I will, like anything he does, because I don't think he's capable of making a bad movie. But I prefer the original and Swedish versions, but I had never read the book until prior to seeing Fincher's version. I wanted to read the book to see what exactly differed between the two. And I did the same with The Hunger Games recently. I thought the book was okay. I had no interest in reading anymore, but, I just thought I'd read it before seeing the film, and it helped actually. I will say that it did actually, I think, help my enjoyment more. I went into that very fresh. I think I finished the book maybe 2 hours before seeing the movie, so, yeah. So yes, I would say read the book before seeing the movie. Unless you want to go into the movie with no spoilers whatsoever. In which case, I don't know, make your mind up. Make your own mind up. But I do have more of a tendency now to read the book before seeing the movie. Okay, question number 26. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? I'm torn here because I'm torn between the traditional superpower of flight, which I know is kind of a hokey, kind of vanilla choice, but imagine you could go anywhere you wanted without restrictions, without the hassle of like checking in luggage, buying tickets, applying for a new passport. All of that is gone. You don't have to waiting lounges, no more delayed flights. You could just literally zip up into the air and, providing you knew where you were going, or you had a GPS that could work up at night, you could go wherever you wanted without all that hassle, and it would be awesome. If you just wanted to get away, you could fly up to a tall building and just kind of find peace in the sky. But if I had to have a superpower, I would have the Scarlet Witch's superpower. For those who don't know, Scarlet Witch is Magneto from the X-Men. She is his daughter, and she has the ability to change reality. She has the difference to change environments and craft things from the world, and I would love that as someone who considers himself to be creative and someone who likes to be creative. The ability to sort of morph and play and mold the world that we see that would be a dream. So just amazing. So there you go. That would be my superpower. Yeah. So there you go. That was my nerd tag. I hope you liked it. I am far too hyper for like a past 3 in the morning, but there you go. As I said, I will put the questions in the description box if you want to do one yourself. Please do. If you haven't thanks for listening.